Today we're going to learn about the mineral nutrients in plants. So we know that plants are are autotrophic organisms. So they gather their carbon from inorganic sources, and not only just carbon but all other nutrients are gathered. Though the nutrients which are gathered, the compounds they're gathered from are all inorganic compounds. Only in certain cases they gather the nitrogen or the different elements from organisms, but the form in which they obtain it and use it are inorganic forms or compounds. To just say that, since I have already said that sometimes they absorb from obtain this from organic or other organisms, for example pitcher plant, which absorbs the nitrogen of insects, or other plants like the legume plants, which actually use the oxygen produced by the bacteria in their root nodules. Now let's focus on the different mineral nutrients. Well, since plants are autotrophic and they um, so they have to absorb their nutrients, right, from somewhere, from either air, water, or soil. And these, since these they acquire inorganic nutrients, these are called mineral nutrients. And the study of this uptake of mineral nutrients by the plants for their use is known as mineral nutrition. And it has been reported that more than 60 different elements have been found in the different angiosperms. More than 60 different elements. But only 17 of these elements are essential. Just 17. Now the thing is, or the question is, what are essential elements? Well, the essential elements have been defined with three different criteria. They have to satisfy all these three criteria. First, a plant would not be able to complete its life cycle without the presence of this, in the absence of this element. Then this element will be called as an essential element. Not only just one, there are more, two, it is in total three criteria which this particular element has to satisfy. And the function of this element is not replaceable by any other element. And the third criteria is that this particular element must be directly involved into the in the plant metabolism. So these are the three criteria. If a particular element satisfy all these three criteria, then it would be called as an essential element. And there are other elements known as beneficial elements. These elements are those which are actually required to compensate for some kind of toxic effects, if some toxic element is present, or element, I mean toxic effects of other elements, or They may replace the essential elements in some less specific function, that is, help in replacing the function, some specific function, some specific function of an essential element. And to give some examples of these beneficial elements are sodium, silicon, cobalt, and selenium. And an example, to give an example, for example, silicon is sometimes found in the cell wall of the plant the plants of some plants to improve their heat tolerance, drought tolerance when there is less water outside, and to increase their resistance against different infections. And all these are actually tested by hydroponics or aeroponics. Now, what is hydroponic? So, water is used. The plants are grown in water with the root in water, and different the compounds of the different new elements, for example, phosphorus, nitrogen, their compounds are added to this to make this media a defined media, because soil, we cannot absolutely know what's present in the soil, what are the particular elements in the soil. So to satisfy this, to know it, what exactly we're adding to the for the root to absorb, we use hydroponics, where in water we add the different elements, and aeroponics is where the root is actually suspended in air, and a solution of the different nutrients are sprayed over this root, over its root. And what more? Well, let's know about the different types of essential elements. Well, it can actually be divided into the essential elements can actually be divided into three different types. I mean, not three different types, but it can be divided based on three different types. Firstly, it can be divided based on the source, where the plants obtain these nutrients from. Secondly, in these um, what amount or concentration these elements are needed for the plant. Concentration means in their body what its concentration should be. Is it more or less? And thirdly, it's based on the biochemical nature or the function of the particular element. And I guess I'll be telling you that what are the different, elaborating these different types of mineral nutrients in the next video. Thank you for today.